Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. We are in the end game of the Billy Mitchell and Carl Jobs saga. I'm gonna get dramatic with it. Dramatic, that's right. We're all jonesing for that content. We're all jonesing for the result, right? The video game player of the century versus the legend Carl Jobs. One final showdown, and everybody is anticipating what the court is going to say. Well, guys, let me tell you something. You want predictions? I'm going to give it to you old school, right? Remember Mr. T, Rocky 3? Predictions? Yeah, I got predictions. Pain. Whoever pays is going to be in a lot of pain, man. You need that. You need that hit of information. You're not getting it. Oh, and the story is so good. You know, this is the end game now, players. This is the end game now. This is a man's game right now. What this is boiled down to is a 50-50 bet on $500,000 worth of attorney's fees. That's what this is right now, right? It should be, you know, loser pays, but who knows what the judge is going to do. And let me tell you this, from being involved in following cases for a long time, one of the mistakes people make is making assumptions. One assumption you can make is say, you know, this is taking such a long time, it could be that the judge really found something and he's trying to work it out, right? It's taking such a long time. And I've been in cases like that where, you know, we think, oh, this is a great sign. You know, we're doing well. And all of a sudden the verdict comes back and it's against you. And the reason it took so long is because, you know, the judge was taking vacation or there's some other issues. There was paperwork filing stuff. And all of a sudden it comes in and you're screwed. And the reason they took longer has nothing to do with what you were playing games in your minds about, right? And other times the verdicts come back really quick and say they're guilty. You never know. And it's that uncertainty, right, that people have that is making everybody anxious. You can feel those anuses puckering out there, right? Whether you're a Billy Mitchell fan or a Carl fan, because you know this is just a lot of money. Maybe for Mr. Mitchell, not so much as Carl, right? Carl just depends on YouTube. That's his existence, as he said. Billy Mitchell's a business owner, and the way he's spending money on lawyers, you know, it's like a drunk sailor at a bar. So he's got to have something somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You don't spend this kind of money if you don't have it. Regardless, you know, when we start talking about who's going to be disappointed the most, right? Who's going to be disappointed the most? I think if you're a Billy Mitchell fan, you're used to not getting your way in court. Specifically because defamation cases are so hard to prove in the U.S. In the U.S., it's virtually impossible when you're a public figure. Anybody can pretty much say anything about you. And it's just opinions, you know, especially if it's fact, you know, whatever. So Billy Mitchell fans always know that they have to go uphill. They don't have really high expectations of any court, right? That's just the expectation in America when it comes to these type of cases. On the other hand, you have Carl that has always talked about this case as a slam dunk, that was inviting it, that was saying, I'm happy, come on, bring it, right? That's why I was so disappointed of him breaking down in court and crying when, you know, he's talking all this smack on video, because if you've never been to trial, guys, once you get on the stand and you start giving your depositions, you don't know what these lawyers are coming at you for or with. They'll ask you questions that are irrelevant. I've been giving depositions on company matters, and somebody has asked me, like, when's the last time you played soccer, right? To see if I would lie about something like that for no good reason, because I'm there to testify about technical matters, right? But they try to throw you off your game, right? They try to make you emotional, make you uncomfortable. So the expectations for Carl Jobs fans were a lot higher based on his own declarations. Now, it still could be the case, but I'm pretty sure that Carl Jobs has learned a lesson here about court, right? It's just not walking in and just saying, whatever you said and that's it. He got bloodied in this trial, right? Billy Mitchell's used to that. Billy Mitchell is already a veteran of being on the stand and lawyers just hammering at him and people using those cuts on video and showing, statements that contradict themselves. He's been exposed and skewered over that over and over again. When it comes to Carl Jobs, this is the first time, and you can see it in some of the comments on my videos, right? This is the first time that he's ever been put under the microscope where what he said on video, right, doesn't match what he's saying on the stand. And I'm not talking about truth, I'm talking about the confidence factor, right? This is a man's game now. There's no crying in baseball, baby. There's no crying in court. There's no crying now. It's a man's game now. Right now, it's $500,000 on the line, boy. And it's just man against man. Mano a mano. Combat in court. That's what you got right now. And that is what is making people so anxious. That is what's making people wait for the story, right? I'm jonesing as much as you are. I am jonesing just as much as you are. I want to know what the judge is going to say here, because it's not only important for this case, it's going to be important for other cases. Look at all the other stuff we're going to look at. If there's any other YouTubers out there from Australia, they're paying attention to this, right? Because whether you're a plaintiff that's looking to sue somebody or a defendant, you need to get your ducks lined up in a row. You're looking at this case closely. You know who else is looking at this case closely? And nobody can convince me otherwise, is Gerard the completionist. If you want vengeance, and if Carl loses this case, he can have his way with him. He can have his way with him from here to Timbuktu, and he can make him suffer, right? If you look at what Billy Mitchell did, he extended this trial for a long period of time. Why? People have different hypotheses, right? And you don't know what Billy's told his lawyers, right? But let's say, for the sake of argument, that what you wanted to do is extend this trial as much as possible, so Carl Jobs had to spend as much money as possible, knowing, right, that you were going to cut off more of the initial claims and just leave the claims that you can actually prove at the end. And by that time, he spent money on defending himself on things you ended up not even accusing him of, right? Because again, remember, we were thinking that this case was going to be about cheating allegations and Carl Jobs calling him a cheater, right? We were thinking, okay, this is going to be the same as the Apollo, case. It's not. It's absolutely not. This case, after it was cut down, is just about the Apollo allegations, as we saw on trial, as we followed through Perfect Pac-Man. So, what can I tell you? What would be my predictions? I think in this case, I don't know how much Billy is going to get awarded, but I think that it was very borderline that Billy Mitchell had any chance of winning anything. I think what really screwed him up here, like I said before, are Carl's statements. If Carl wouldn't gone on those podcasts and said what he said, he would be in a lot better position. But I think based on those podcasts, he hurt himself in his credibility, and he hurt himself in the point of malice. That's just as a layman's opinion, right? I'm not a lawyer. And if you're Billy Mitchell and you're looking at what he said, what's most damaging for him is him laughing about Apollo's death, right? But remember, this case is not about Billy Mitchell being an a-hole, right? It's not about Billy Mitchell being crude or insensitive or any of those things. It's about these statements. That's all it's about. But that could affect him, even if he just, even if he got his way. The judge could say, well, yeah, but you like wish death on this guy. So I mean, how broken up are you? I'm not going to believe you that you threw up and did all that shit when I saw you celebrate the guy's death when he wasn't dead. Right? That's damaging for him. So that could mitigate some of the costs. So what do you do? I don't know. Right? If we knew, everything would be simple, but we don't. But at the end of the day, whatever decision this comes down to, I think it changes, a lot for Carl Jobs, not as much for Billy Mitchell, other than, maybe he doesn't have as much money to keep suing people. But if Carl loses, it's going to be a profound change in his life, because now there's blood in the water and others are going to be seeking to go after him. So hopefully he gets his business stuff together, buys the right insurance, creates himself a nice company, a LLC, so he can defend himself against all this stuff. Because otherwise, if he's just going to be talking smack like this, he's going to be crying a lot in court. There's going to be a lot more emotions in court for him, right? This is not going to be the only one. But in the end, we will be entertained. All right, humans, thank you for joining me. We're going to be waiting. We are going to be waiting with bated breath. And once that happens, I'm going to talk about it. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. Give me that injection of adrenaline to keep making content. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.